There's a myth going around. People say that you don't get enough vitamin C on a carnivore diet. So we're going to dispel that myth. Hey, this is Chris, and in this video I'm going to talk about vitamin C. We talked a bit about that before. I have a video called The 5 Myths on the Carnivore Diet where I mentioned briefly about vitamin C, but this is going deeper into it now. Vitamin C, also referred to as ascorbic acid, is a water-soluble vitamin that is crucially involved in catecholamine synthesis, collagen synthesis, bile synthesis, amino acid synthesis, and peptide hormone synthesis. We lost a gene for making our own vitamin C more than 61 million years ago, so we have to get it from the diet. And where did the theory come from that you need fruits and vegetables for getting vitamin C? Well, if you look at sailors, people are saying, oh, we're not getting enough vitamin C because people get scurvy. In the 16th to 18th century, they saw that sailors got scurvy, and then that was solved by giving them citrus fruits. So they said, oh, look, it's high in vitamin C, so that solves a problem. So that means that you need to eat fruits and vegetables to get vitamin C. These sailors were eating just hardtack, and there's very little nutrition in it, just anti-nutrients basically, and sugar. So it was basically a cracker, like flour, water and salt, and that's all that they're eating. So they're going to be malnourished, and that's why they run into stuff like scurvy, because there's no vitamin C in it. And actually, if anything, which we're going to be talking about later, there's too much glucose and not enough vitamin C. Symptoms of scurvy generally appear within a few months. So you see these carnivores that have been eating the carnivore diet for 5 or 10 years and they're not getting scurvy. They should have had it within a couple of months if they haven't been eating any fruit. So that must mean that there's vitamin C in the meat and other stuff which we're going to talk about. So keep that in mind. And people will sometimes point to studies like this when they see, look, oh, scurvy in carnivores. And if you look at it on further questioning, the patient admitted to a diet consisting only of Bunker Hill canned beef and other cooked foods. Canned beef. See, if you have fresh meat, you're not going to run into this problem. So they're saying that his diet was limited to canned beef. But if you eat fresh beef, that's going to be a different story. So you need fresh meat. Fresh meat does have vitamin C, fresh muscle meat, and if you eat organs, they have even more. And like I talked about in another video, Napoleon, he actually ordered his soldiers to eat fresh horse meat for the vitamin C. Dominique Jean Larrey, he was a surgeon with Napoleon's army, and he recommended this cure for scurvy. So when scurvy was running rampant in Egypt, he ordered an infusion of fresh horse meat. Vilhjalmur Stefansson was an Arctic explorer. All meat diet traditional to the Inuit prevents scurvy without plant-based foods by eating fresh, raw and cooked meat, organ meats and fat. He and fellow explorers maintained high levels of health, avoiding that meat contains sufficient, though small amounts of vitamin C to avoid deficiency. Now you might say, oh, but it's not hitting the recommended daily allowance. But that's if you're eating a lot of sugar, then you need more vitamin C, because then you need it for the GLUT transporters. Because if you're eating too much glucose, then it competes with vitamin C at the GLUT transporters. Vitamin C and glucose are molecularly similar, so they compete for absorption at the same transporter. So the glucose and the vitamin C compete for absorption at the same transporter, the GLUT transporters. DHA has been shown to compete with glucose for transport through several glucose transporters. So if you eat too little vitamin C and too much glucose, then you need more vitamin C. If you don't eat much glucose, okay, sugar, if you don't eat much sugar, then you don't need much vitamin C. If you eat a lot of sugar, then you need a lot of vitamin C. And if you're following a carnivore diet which is low in sugar, then you don't need much vitamin C because there's nothing to compete with. You only need like nanograms. And again, there is vitamin C in meat, especially organs, but even the meat. Now, if you cook the meat a lot to well done, it's going to destroy a little bit of vitamin C. For example, raw chicken liver contains 17.9 milligrams per 100 grams, but fried, the content is reduced to 2.7 milligrams per 100 grams. So it's destroyed a lot if you're frying it a lot. And then the vitamin C in cow's milk contains 1 milligram per 100 grams. But if it's pasteurized milk, then the heat of that pasteurization destroys it. You see a lot of carnivores even eating cooked meat that gets plenty of vitamin C. But if you're a bit concerned, then have a bit on the rarer side or raw even meat just to get a little bit extra, or have organs here and there. It only takes little to prevent scurvy. And if you look at electron transport chamber to create ATP, deuterium interrupts, okay, that's a heavy isotope of hydrogen, and deuterium disrupts ATP synthesis in the mitochondria, okay, the powerhouse of the cell. It slows down the electron transport chain, causing mitochondrial dysfunction. So then vitamin C needs to be diverted for that function as well. So with the competition between the vitamin C and the glucose, so the GLUT transporters, and then also the fact that deuterium causes a problem, vitamin C is used for other stuff then to fix that problem. Proton electron transport reactions are also distributed by deuterium. So the electron transport chain is slowed down in the presence of deuterons. And if you eat too much vitamin C, especially like if you take supplements, vitamin C turns into oxalates. So you don't want to be consuming too much vitamin C. And vitamin C works best on a carnivore diet because you've got the hydrolyzed protein, okay, the collagen and all, because vitamin C synthesizes collagen, so you don't need much vitamin C. The animal protein that supplies the hydrolyzed protein, so the hydroxyproline and the hydroxylysine, reduces the need for vitamin C as well. And you get glycine in the meat from like chicken skin, stuff like that. So basically, you don't need vegetables and fruits for vitamin C. You can get all the vitamin C you need from a carnivore diet. And finally, if you want a free coaching call with me, then DM me the word ready on Instagram at HealthierNowChris. And if you're hitting sticking points, or if you're just getting started on the carnivore diet or a low carb diet in general, then we can push you in the right direction to get the results you want. And if you want any more content like this, then make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you soon.